What's going on? This is Zero and Go. What is it, a Tuesday night?
It is a Tuesday night.
Oh,
Classic Tuesday night.
I don't know why I was doing that.
This is episode number 10, so
Wow,
Big 10 over here.
Double digits.
Big 10,
Yeah, Big
Wow,
10.
let's do it.
August has been missing for the last couple,
He's a busy man. He's hard to
hard
track
to-
down, you know?
Not even, man. I was just trying to take care of priorities every now and then. School's starting to get in the way, you know.
Yeah,
That's all.
pesky school, man. Always
Pesky
in the-
school,
It's
lots
all
of
good.
travel.
On spring break, back at it again. We're good.
You guys got any plans? Just working a
No,
bunch.
just work. I don't get spring break anymore, so
That's what happens when you're the work world.
That's what happens when you're a real adult. Fuck. What about you? You got
Me?
plans?
I'm driving down to San Diego tomorrow, just for like 3 or 4 days. See my mom for a little bit, and then I don't know. Go down to San Diego, hang out on a boat. Other than that, what about you?
Just hang out on the boat?
Hey, that sounds like a good spring break.
That's
though.
pretty sick.
But it's supposed to rain. That's the only issue. Like
Yeah.
it's scheduled. We've been watching the weather all week. It's scheduled to rain like 2 days that we're down there. So I'm like, I wanted to get out of the rain in Sacramento, and now I'm going. It's following me down to San Diego. But it's all right.
Bad luck.
Things will carry on. What about you, Mike? What are you about to be up to?
Just work, reading a lot, man. Finally
Reading a
catching
lot?
up on reading and podcasts. I'm behind a lot, so now this
Yeah.
is my opportunity to get ahead, Trying to bust out Jordan Peterson's 12 Rule for Life.
How far
hopefully.
along are you?
I'm on Rule 7. So.
Rule 7?
Yeah,
Nice.
out of 12.
Okay.
So.
I just bought my buddy a copy and sent it to him.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
That's a great gift, man.
Dude, he just got back from the Tony Robbins event this weekend.
Oh, how was that?
Damn,
So
dude.
this was his second time going, and so he FaceTimed me when he was on his way back, and he was saying like, dude, it's honestly amazing. He's like, I know with the first time like it was really like cool. He's like, but going the second time we're really like, it's like he's just like I feel like so alive. I feel like it's just amazing. Like I have this fire like burning inside me. He's talking about like it's just all like a mental state. It's like you just gotta like control your life by being in a really good mental state. I think I'm definitely gonna go to the next one with him. I couldn't go this time because I couldn't afford it, but the next one he keeps telling me like, dude, you
Aren't
gotta
they
go.
pretty expensive?
They're almost like so he can get me in for about $500 because he's like a past member. I guess is how it works. But I think initially it's like almost $800 to $1,000
Yeah.
to go.
That's what I saw when I was looking at them. They were like $1,000 a piece, and like I don't even spend that money like on full like weekend festivals,
Yeah.
you know. So
Well, he put it in a way where it's like what other like you can invest in certain things, but what other greater investment than yourself? Like if you're going to invest in something, why not invest in yourself? And then another
yeah,
go ahead.
that's like the cliche
It's true.
argument for that.
But then like another thing that the reason because I asked him like, dude, like that's pretty fucking expensive, and he was like, my buddy's name's Josh.
Especially for a college kid.
Yeah, that's true. Well, he isn't. He's just full time. He works as a car salesman. He's doing really well for himself, actually. But he's just saying like the reason it's so expensive is because it weeds the people out who aren't serious. So that way, when you actually get into the room, you're around a like cohesive group of individuals who are actually like there, right? And then he practices that full immersion.
Well, yeah, if you pay like $1,000 to do something,
Yeah.
you're gonna want to get like your money's worth, you know.
Oh yeah, dude. I agree 100%. What do you think, Mike?
That's interesting. When people go to those kind of conferences and like it's sort of like people would categorize it probably as a motivational speaker.
Yeah.
That's what Tony Robbins does. And so those things are great, especially coming like right out of it. The thing is like how do you keep that momentum up afterwards?
That's
And
what I asked
I think
him
you
a
should
lot.
talk to him and see like does he still feel that fire and is it just burning just as bright?
Yeah.
Or was there a way for him to capture that and encapsulate in something in
yeah.
a writing, and so he can go back and like regain the embers from that fire, so he can start another fire.
Yeah, so like one of
So
the first things I asked him, like, cause especially going to that point, I was like, what are your measurables? Like, how are you going to measure that investment and that it was success and it's actually influencing and changing your life? And he didn't really have anything for me. He was just saying like it's just this mental state of like that was his biggest takeaway thus far. But I'd like the idea of continuing to check in with him and find out more and more.
Yeah, and I would be curious what behavioral changes did he enact in his life after that?
Mm-hmm.
Were there certain concrete steps that he took, doing something different every day? Does he have a morning routine now? Like, is he reading every day? Like, what changed? And maybe it's like a mental state, but then it could be a mental state, but then you have to figure out, well, what exactly changed
Changing about
from
the
that
mental
mental
state,
state
yeah.
to his new mental state. And he has to basically subjectively judge it off of that.
He said he wants to try to read a book a week. I'm like, it's a little aggressive.
Ty Lopez over there, dude. He's just
I
trying
don't
to
know.
read it.
He was talking about
That's a lot.
like taking like speed reading courses, and I'm like, yeah, but like if you do that, because I start thinking about speed reading, and I think about like trying to read like Jordan's book. I wouldn't ever want to speed read it because I feel like
Yeah.
I'd miss out on too
I
much.
feel like there's certain books that it's really helpful to speed read, and
Yeah.
certain books where it's really helpful to go through it with like a fine-tooth comb and really take notes, really write things down, highlight things, like things that you think are important or things you get out of the book, and like jot those down, because then you can reread
Speed
the
reading
notes.
way? Is he talking about speed reading?
No, I'm talking like going through the book, like
Okay.
much slower, because then you can go back and just go through the notes if you
Yeah.
ever want to refer to the book again, and then in that essence, like maybe you wrote like great paragraph here about whatever X, Y, and Z, and on page 383, and you can like go to that page if you like want to like refresh your mind about that specific topic.
Mm-hmm.
So that way you don't have to like comb through the whole book or reread the whole book. You can just refer to your notes and get the gist of it, of what you learned from it.
Yeah, and sometimes when you look back at your notes and written down the most important parts, that will spark a memory and it'll spark a chain of knowledge, and then that's when you would go through that chain of knowledge after you read that like highlighted portion, if that
Nice.
makes sense.
Nice. Well, speaking of books, I mean, I've been watching a lot of Gary Vee videos lately. I was telling you guys a little earlier. Just kind of all about it. And I believe we're on round 5. It says clamming up on Pinterest. Mark said he used to be an avid Pinterest user. What kind of boards did you have on your Pinterest, Mark?
I had a lot of like do-it-yourself stuff, like stuff I just like want to make.
Okay.
Like,
are we talking like carpentry, like
yeah, like
ironworks?
craftsman stuff.
Okay.
Not like ironworks, but like wood craftsmanship, or just like cool like handmade stuff.
Uh-huh.
Like handmade like knives or tables or like furniture,
Handmade
or
knives. Wow.
like just random stuff. I really liked the Pinterest like boards where it'd be posting things like individual people are making and not big manufactured things. So
Yeah.
it's almost like they made that one item just for you.
Yeah.
It's
Did you ever
it's
make
very
one or
special.
like buy one or anything like that?
No, I don't think so, because I was in high school and I didn't have money in high school,
Yeah.
you know, just slumming it through high school. But so I didn't ever buy anything, but it like gave me aspiration and inspiration to either like try different things or like think about buying those types of things in the future.
Yeah. That's awesome, dude. Mike, did you ever have Pinterest?
No, I never had Pinterest, but the stuff that Mark's talking about would be like sort of my alley, like selling that craft stuff.
Yeah.
Like Joe Rogan has that like craft knife that's made out of a meteor.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, you win, dude. You bring that out. Like, it's made from a meteor. Like, how do you beat that? Like, wow.
That is pretty special.
I'm just cutting carrots with a meteor. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. There's like some really cool things you can have in your house, and one of the coolest like gifts is like, I'm gonna give somebody like this old Roman coin or something. Now this is the oldest thing that you'll ever have in your house, probably. So there's cool things like that.
That is pretty cool. I would love something like that.
Yeah.
Nice.
But Pinterest is like it's a unique platform in the sense that it kind of gives you a big visual representation of different activities or different ideas, different like thoughts and stuff, and so people can kind of all see them at once, and then you kind of just get to gravitate towards like what visually you find appealing.
So, like, did you ever notice, I mean, being back in high school, that was, what, almost 6 years ago? Mm-hmm. Right? So did you ever notice any of the brand advertising that Gary kind of talks about in this chapter? Brands that were kind of, like, venturing out? Because at that time, was Pinterest pretty new? When was Pinterest founded? In 2012? Yeah, so it was
pretty new. I was on it when it was
2010, actually, is when it launched. But 2012 is when it started getting popular. So
Yeah,
you graduated?
I was on it my senior year, so
Senior
it was 2012 for me.
Okay.
And so I guess I was on that like cusp of a wave there where everybody was kind of getting on it, or when it became most popular. But the cool thing about it is that you can like save them, and you don't have to like immediately like go to that site. It's almost like addicting because you're just scrolling through and you're like, oh, I like that, but I don't want to go read the article or go like look exactly how you make that piece of art or that piece of furniture. But instead, I'm just going to save it to my board, and then later when I have more free time and it's like, oh, I'm free this weekend, I don't have anything to do, like I'm going to go build a coffee table. You can like go back to your boards, find that really cool like handmade coffee table and with step-by-step directions that this person put together with like videos or pictures or words or all three, and you get to go explore and go create something on your own with like a step-by-step guide. And so it's great because you get to like save things and put them in one location where you can revisit them later when you have the inspiration to do it and follow through with it,
Okay.
So it doesn't have to be immediately. It's like, oh, I got 15 minutes right now while I'm just chilling at my desk doing nothing, and so I'm just scrolling through Pinterest, saving things for things I can do this weekend, or things like arts and crafts I can do with my kids or anything like that. And I think that's kind of how it gets that like mom social media rep,
Yeah. Well, because then it's almost like a filler for being bored. It's like here's a whole bunch of things you can do, then go ahead and do them. I remember like when my mom we first moved down to like our little town, SoCal. We like bought like some book, like 50 different things to do like in this little city. We just went and did like a bunch of them, trying things out. So Pinterest kind of does that for moms. Like, hey, like you have a lot of idle times on your hands. Your kids are out at school. Maybe you've already done whatever you're doing, especially for stay-at-home moms. Here's a bunch of different things you could do to entertain yourself and kind of grow a little bit. I'd be curious to see how many businesses sprouted out of like Pinterest interests, kind of like self-made like stay-at-home moms. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of those moms will just find a really cool trick to do some type of chore or project, and then they put it on there, and then the rest of the world can see it.
And some of them like get super popular, and you see the same thing pinned over and over again, and like so like one thing can like go viral in a sense where whether it's like making a certain coffee table or whether it's like a certain photo or just a certain quote even that you see, like you'll see some things over and over again, and like it can go viral on a platform like Pinterest where you don't really think of things going viral.
Yeah, I mean Gary talks about it. He's talking about the Pinterest psychology, that there's a 79% more likely chance that people are going to buy things on Pinterest than on Facebook. Pinterest actually even beats out Twitter when it costs like a pay-per-click and people clicking to buy on Pinterest, right? So like, I think the reason is because like I've never understood Pinterest as something to sell. It's more so like if I'm interested in something, then they just continue to cultivate and grow and grow and grow. And then like kind of like you're saying, if I want to build a coffee table, like there's the instructions how, here's where to buy. Like it's feeding into more of my interest and I'm driving it, which I think is what's really cool about it. Talking about like the brands and how they continue to share, and specifically for their clients, I guess you could even call them.
For Pinterest, do they allow you to directly buy from the website, or there's just a link to that person's website that you click on and you have to buy it from that person's website?
Link to like a person's website or something.
Okay, so
a lot of it.
You have to establish one of those.
Yeah, basically, because like Pinterest is just like a social media platform for like sharing those versus like actually buying off Pinterest, But a lot of it is like, have you heard of Etsy?
Yeah,
like that is huge on Pinterest. Like almost.
Describe Etsy again. I can't remember exactly.
Etsy's like basically, I create lanyards and I sell lanyards, and they're just mine, and I create them myself, and they're like one of a kind, and I sell them on Etsy. So if you're looking for lanyards and you like my style, you like these specific ones that I make, you can go to Etsy and buy them off that. It's just like a retailer for like do-it-yourselfers.
Interesting. That's awesome.
And so like almost like half the things I clicked on when I did use Pinterest, I don't know if it's still the same, but because I haven't used it in a couple of years. But like almost half of them like took you to an Etsy page where you could buy it off Etsy.
It seems like less work than making your own domain and web page and hooking that up.
I think so.
With the transactions.
And they have it all set up.
It's like an eBay for like arts and crafts or something.
Basically, yeah, or whatever it may be. It could be like almost anything, really.
Yeah. So we're talking about like brands who want to use Pinterest. Like, what kind of brands are we talking about? Are we talking about small brands, big brands? Are we talking about Etsy types of brands? I mean, it seems like it's a platform almost for anyone, especially targeting women, right? Because 68% of Pinterest users are women, half of which happen to be mothers, as we were talking about.
I feel like a vast majority of Pinterest users are women, and they're either like mothers or teachers. I feel like those are huge because like there would just be huge amount of like teacher stuff and mother stuff or like stuff to do with your kids stuff.
And they just took over the platform.
And they took over the platform and they just like fed off each other that it would just like randomly show up, you know,
it's so true.
On everybody's board. So whether you were into like different ways to teach the classroom or different, you know, things like that, like you don't. Like, you may not care for it, but it's still going to show up, and that's how, like, prevalent it was.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's still that way, but...
I remember, like, I had a Pinterest in high school, and I remember I told someone about it, and, like, the girl was like, do you have a Pinterest? Like what are you doing on Pinterest? Like, this is, like, a girl's, like type of social media, and I was just like, wow, I kind of like it. I just thought... I like the image. I like what's going on. I enjoy the platform.
So, what did you like on Pinterest? What did you follow? Or
I liked a lot of the art. I remember at the time I was like really into trying to get a tattoo for a long time. Like I still am, and I was using it for like just ideas of like what people are using like on their bodies and stuff. Even today, like if I want to go look up a different type of artwork or pattern, I'll go on Pinterest to try to find like tattoos and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I also use it for fashion. I was trying to get into like I don't know, like if I wanted to buy a really nice pair of leather boots and like start like wearing like boots and like flannels and stuff like that. So I was looking up at like a bunch of different types of fashion you can get. So I would use it for things like that. I don't know. For some reason, I found it a lot easier to use than Instagram because it would feed me different, like more like-minded images and like-minded topics, whether it was related to fashion or tattoos, and I could just scroll and go for hours and hours.
Yeah, I think it is definitely better for that sort of research.
It seems like they captured another great audience is college girls. Yeah. I think a lot of sorority girls use them, and like other college girls. So like you got some lifetime users right there because they're gonna turn into.
But you gotta think like, what are they really like using it for? Like, what things are they using it for on the platform? And I feel like a vast majority of it is literally arts and crafts, like creating your own things.
Yeah.
And whether it's like decorating a like, you know, Gamify like t-shirt or like a paddle or whatever, you know, it's all around, or like a vast majority it's based around like arts and crafts shit.
Yeah, and they'll be doing arts and crafts for like their whole life probably.
Yeah,
so they're going to have continual users.
Something else that I thought was kind of cool about what Gary was saying when he was talking about like people drinking tea, and when you use like your pins and your captions, he says tea drink after a bad dare, or like tea for handling like the in-laws, right? And so like he talked about being really, really witty with your captions. I know people who post on Instagram, I was like, oh shit, like what should I caption this? Like how am I trying to caption this? Especially if they're trying to grow like their followers and stuff like that. And so he kind of touches on for like being a brand, like you need to be kind of witty. You need to know, like, don't necessarily be like, oh, this tea is just great for your morning, and this is all you need, and it's going to put you in a cheery mood. It's like you gotta be like, exactly, like, look how,
because that's like a basic,
exactly, like it's hilarious, right? It always goes back to what I mean. It seems like context is key, just kind of carries throughout all these platforms and all these chapters. But it's funny, you know. It's like you have all these different, you have this tea talking about, oh, this is for your in-laws. When in reality, it's like it's a normal tea, but it's the advertising, the marketing, the PR that's giving it this feel like, oh, this is what I need right after my damn mother-in-law comes over and just ruins my whole fucking day. Like that's how I would think about it. It's just hilarious.
Yeah, that tea board was pretty cool. He talked about that tea board.
Yeah, they did a good job.
Great serendipity.
What about any of these examples? Did you guys pick out any of these examples you used that you guys liked or disliked?
I think a big aspect of Pinterest is like feeding the dream. Whether it's like your dream house or your dream living room or it's all these things you want in life. It's like the picturesque photo of the living room with the amazing like backdrop out the window. It's the things you like long for. It's the ideal like wedding, or it's all these things that you're like feeding your own dreams and like feeding your own wants.
Mm-hmm.
You're kind of realizing what you want, what you dream of as you like visually see it, because you see that specific thing be really cool, and now it's like, okay, I want that, and you kind of like post that on your board, and it becomes like your virtual world. Mm-hmm. And then I guess the goal is to try and get it into your real world, which is a lot harder said than done. And I think but it's the dream aspect, the dream thinking, the dream like methodology that really drives people to the site.
Yeah. Do you think it makes people envious?
Yeah, it can, or make people jealous. I think it depends on the person and how they're viewing it. Mm-hmm. But it could be taken in many different ways, or it could like really motivate you and be like, okay, now I know exactly what I want, and I'm going to go after that.
Yeah.
And so it can be like a double-edged sword, I suppose. But I think that definitely is a driving force for the platform itself.
Yeah. Mike, what do you think? Envious, not envious? Healthy, not healthy?
I think it depends on the person and how they deal with social media. Because if they have this ideal of marrying like the perfect man and having a beach wedding, and they're constantly... It wouldn't be a bad idea. And then they're constantly reminded on it every time they see Pinterest. It might just dig at them every time and just really dig a hole in them.
My husband sits on the couch.
Yeah.
Ask me to change the channel.
Yeah, or they have that ideal wedding from that Pinterest photo or post, and then they try to act it out, but it's nothing like the post. Yeah. And then like, damn, I'm always going to have that like regret or something that I didn't do it right, or it didn't turn out the way I wanted to. And then you're going to be looking at that every time you go on Pinterest. And so it depends like what type of person you are. Like if you're jealous of like this post is like Lauren Conrad's like toned leg workout, like if you always like wanted toned legs but you like struggle with your determination to go to the gym and eat healthy and stuff, it's like it's always going to be something that's like sort of bothering you that you wish you had and you're longing for, but you're just not able to, I don't know, retrieve it or act it out in the world.
That is interesting.
I feel like a lot of it is because you're gonna like repin things on your board at a much faster rate than you doing any of these things. Mm-hmm. And so in that essence, like you're just like dreaming about things instead of actually doing things, or you're not doing steps to actually like achieve all the things you're pinning because you're just living in the virtual world, instead.
And that's a good point. It's like, well, maybe I thought I wanted that, but like 2 weeks later I didn't even want that. So you're just like clicking things like, oh, this would be nice, this would be nice. And it's like a shopping cart. All these things would be nice. And then, but you haven't really thought it through, like maybe I really don't want that, or maybe I want it to be altered in some way. And so now you have just like a bunch of dreams you looked at for 2 seconds and threw it in your board. Mm-hmm. But a week later you may not even want that. Yeah. So it's like, I don't know if you guys deleted a lot of stuff off your board. Like, I'm never actually going to do this. Or, I don't really want that.
No one ever deletes their boards.
Yeah.
Didn't he talk about that?
Yeah.
Well, like, the posts that they put on their boards.
Yeah. They don't, like, no one ever, like, really removes stuff from their boards. They kind of just leave it lingering.
They just leave it there. Right. They just let their board, like...
Pile
up, basically.
Oh, wow.
So you're just stuck with all these posts.
Well, I guess, yeah. I'm more of an orderly guy. I would get rid of any things I didn't want.
Oh, would you?
Yeah.
No, but
it's
like
out the door.
But Pinterest, there's like way too many things. Like when you're just pinning things, because it's so like scrolly, where you're gonna have like a row of like 4 or 5 things across, and then also like different or like 4 or 5 columns with like 4 or 5 rows as well. And so you're gonna have like 20 different things you're looking at one time, and you're just like, oh, I like that, pin it. So you can look at it later. And oh, I like that, pin it, and you're just like continuously
Yeah.
scrolling, almost like Twitter, except for it's like very visual and very like
Draws you in.
yeah, just many things
It's
you're gonna
just
pin,
cute.
so your board's gonna fill up quick. You're not gonna be scrolling through your board, be
Going
like,
right
oh, I
up
don't
this.
like that one anymore.
I guess
Like no one spends that amount of time because no one's.
People might though.
Meh.
Probably the mass majority doesn't.
Yeah,
It's a safe assumption.
I guess I'm in the small minority there because
Yeah.
I would turn in as like a to-do list. Like I want to do all these things and like I'm going to put
that's
them on
the
the
thing,
board
like,
and eventually do them.
if
If I'm
you
not
s-
going to do them, I'm going to take it off.
If you spend like an hour on Pinterest pinning things, like to
Oh my
do
God, that's
those
so
things in
much
real
time.
life would be a stupid amount of time. Like,
you probably wouldn't
like-
do it because you feel like you're wasting your time. to be
yeah,
honest.
you would probably spend like a solid like week straight doing those like 1 hour of pinning stuff.
Yeah.
But I think my pinning process would be really slow too.
You'd be
I
very
would,
meticulous.
Yeah, I would be very meticulous.
All right,
trying
this
to
doesn't
discern.
match. No, this angle is not. No.
Yeah, like I'd be reading
Yeah.
everything and like thinking about, am I actually going to do this?
Yeah.
And I'm going to go through like a long process of debating with myself. Do I want to put this on? But
feel
that's
like-
I told you that's
yeah,
the minority.
I
That's
feel
how
like-
I would do it. I'd
feel
do it
like
totally
you're,
different.
You're a 1%er on Pinterest.
yeah,
1%.
yeah, that's just how I am. But
It's alright though. That is kind of interesting. So I think about the brands and like how the brands are using this and how they're influencing like their users. I mean, I wish one of us would have had a Pinterest to like talk more about this. But it's like if I'm like a mother or something and I see, I mean, I don't know, give me a brand. Like, do you think like a baby brand's on there on Pinterest?
Like Johnson & Johnson?
Sure.
Yeah, I would like 100% say yes.
So what do you think their impact on, I guess, especially since Pinterest is such a women-drawn platform, driven platform along with mothers? Like, do you think their influence is it's a very good influence? Do you think they're giving, like, what kind of content do we think they're posting that's making women associate with their brand, saying, oh, like this is the kind of brand that I'm going to get for my child?
It'd probably be like happy ideal like, you know, like baby photos. If you're like trying to sell like Johnson & Johnson like baby soap, you know, it's going to be like a happy kid like playing in the bath, you know, with a rubber duck or something. It's going to be something like very idealistic
yeah.
where the parents like, you know, they associate good memories, good ideas with that product, with having a bath with their kid, you know,
Yeah.
those sorts of things.
And then making them safe, like your safe products. I wonder if people are always, especially like Johnson & Johnson, I know, don't they partake in like if oil spills are going on? Don't they like,
I think that's Dawn.
is it just Dawn? I always think about Dawn.
Yeah.
Dawn's pretty cool.
Or Dawn's like the
Dawn's
famous
pretty
one
cool.
for doing
I
that
like Dawn.
is
anyways.
your favorite soap brand?
Yeah.
I don't know. it's
Because
like,
their
you use it for
commercials
anything.
are always like washing ducks off with
with like oil.
with oil all over them with Dawn.
Like you can, like, it's like that's exactly what they use.
Yeah, because it's like it gets the job done. Like it's really effective, but it's also like really safe.
Yeah, it's
and that's what they're
safe.
promoting. You know.
It's interesting.
It is.
Any last ideas on Pinterest?
I'm pretty much set.
It was a pretty short chapter,
It was a short chapter. They were just talking about visuals
Yeah.
and pinning and boards.
and it's one of the like less popular social medias.
I don't ever hear anyone talk about Pinterest.
Yeah,
Well,
like you don't go to a
powerful.
party and be like, "Hey,
Oh,
did you see this new
that?
pin
Yeah,
I saw? Hey, did you check out my fitness board?"
It's like little quiet people in the corner. They're sitting there.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Maybe women do.
It might- yeah.
It may just
That's
be.
probably true. We're way outside
Yeah.
of this like this social group, making hard judgment calls right now. Like, oh, yeah.
Any women listening to this are just furious and they have a whole different idea.
Like, we have clubs and organizations. And we meet every Sunday after church. Like, I don't know, man. It's just hilarious. That's probably true. We should actually we should become a little more acclimated before we.
It might be one of those topics where only women talk about it with other women, with other groups of women.
Yeah.
Like there's some conversations where only women will have it with other women. And that might be one of them.
It probably is.
And it might be like, my guess would be pretty big for teachers though.
I can
It
see.
is big with teachers.
Yeah, I see.
Like they'll talk about it in the
I remember
lunchroom.
that.
Like,
Yeah.
do you see my post on like how to make this craft for third period or
Because
whatever?
they're always looking for new,
Yeah.
generative, like new ideas, how to do ideas. Yeah,
Mhm.
because the classrooms. I mean, it's pretty fun.
Yeah. Well, that's our 30-minute mark right there.
Hey,
Nice.
that's the new idea from now on. So
Episode 10 right there.
Episode 10. Our book episodes will probably shoot around for 30 minutes, and it looks like we hit it this time.
Oh.
So good work. All right. And we're out.
Call it out.